Alright, so we're here with Alex Monroe from Lock Haven University. You were, what, 17 in the gold race, so how did that feel?
It felt really good. I felt a little shaky the first 2 miles, but I was able to close pretty hard, and it was a really good, strong race for me, and we were packed up pretty tight back where the rest of the guys were, so it was good.
Was it different for you? Because you're, Alex is like a multiple-time All-American, I don't even know how many.
I think 2, yeah.
Represented the U.S. like at the World Junior Championships a couple years ago, so big runner, but you're probably used to, you know, just going out and running as hard as you can and just destroying people in the PSAC. So how was it for you to be in the gold race where there's actually competition for you? I
mean, I do really well at these kind of races. I love coming out here just because I get to mix it up with the D1 guys. So that's always really exciting to do, and it's a different mentality going into these kind of races because, you know, when you race against the PSAC, sometimes it's a little more spread out. Today I was kind of out of my comfort zone, but I like the big meet scene, so it gave me people to go after, and really this is my first race I was able to cut loose on, so to see where I'm actually at, so that's definitely, you know, gives me a lot of confidence as to where I was in the race.
Yeah, we, Huxley, we like kind of we were blog aimed at freshmen, they're you know, going into college that are, you know, just kind of trying to decide where to even go. So what was it like for you to decide, because you were pretty good in high school too, right?
Yeah.
I'm a PA person, I remember your name a couple times, but, so how did you decide Lock Haven? You know, what was it about D2 that kind of like drew you in instead of the, you know, the bigger competition?
I mean, I didn't take too many visits. As soon as I visited Lock Haven, I knew it was a team for me. The team is so much like a family, and I just knew the way Russell was, he was never gonna, you know, let me be satisfied. So I knew even when I went to a D2 school, I'd be able to reach my full potential. I see people do all the time, like you said, Neely Spence.
Yeah.
So many people are up and coming in D2. I think it's just a depth difference when you look at schools. So it's definitely been a great choice for me. I wanted to go to a smaller school where I knew everybody, where I was really close with my team, and I didn't know that I could necessarily do that at a big, huge, you know, D1 school. It's a better fit for me, and for many people, I hope they at least look into it. It was, as soon as I visited, I knew I wanted to go here. So it's definitely one of the better choices in my career. So.
You mentioned that Coach Russell's always pushing you to be better and better.
Yeah.
What is your relationship with him like?
It's a great relationship. He knows me probably better than I know myself as far as being a runner and what kind of goes through my head, you know, during a race. Or he knows when to trust me and let me do my thing, and he knows when to coach me and when to tell me this is what you need to do. He's really good about that balance. He knows what's best for the entire team, and he really genuinely puts, I don't know how he does it, he puts so much time into this program, so, you know, I like to run as well as I can to kind of get back to him, because he's, you know, a huge role model in my life. So.
We were talking to him a little bit earlier, and he was saying that although you guys have a rep as being one of the highest mileage schools in the PSAC, you're like, it's kind of an individualized thing, but I mean, where would you say you fall? Would you be like, because you say Nick Hilton did like 120-mile weeks, and I was like, well, that's probably where the rumors started, but how would you fit into that?
It definitely wasn't 120, he was up over 100 for sure, but yeah, I mean, we get that rep, and it's a little frustrating to hear that it's all junk miles, because it's not the case at all. I think he really believes in the philosophy of putting in a good base mileage to kind of get us to the postseason where we can run really fast and be able to have that strength in the middle of a race. So that's where I think it comes from for him. I'm up over 95. I think I might have hit 100 last week. So it gets to be a little bit much here and there, but it's all well worth it. You know, when we come down for the postseason, all the tiredness kind of leaves your legs, and you feel really fresh. And that's what our, you know, our philosophy is to be ready at the postseason. It doesn't really matter how we do here. I mean, it matters, but this is kind of just to see where we're at. And then when we start to come down in mileage, everybody starts feeling really good, and it really works for us. I think it works for, you know, a lot of this team. Some people, you know, he's really good about adjusting. You know, not everybody on our top 7 is 100-mile weeks. Like Sean Lake, you know, he maybe hits 60 miles a week, but Russell has him cross-training, you know, doing different things to kind of supplement, and it really, you know, Russell knows what's, you know, specifically right for each athlete, but overall his training philosophy is to get a lot of base mileage, and we haven't yet done speed. I think last week was our first speed workout. We did mile repeats, if you want to consider that speed. So, you know, we don't really touch it too early on, but I like that. I look at some of these D1 teams and they're doing, you know, speed in June or July, and I just, you know, for some people that might work, but, you know, Russell, I think he knows what he's doing as far as the high mileage, and as long as you do all the other things he asks of you, you're going to stay injury-free and ultimately going to succeed in the postseason.
So you guys are a team that, was it the last 2 years you went to nationals, or the last 3, or?
Last 2 we missed out. Last 3 years ago, I wasn't on that team. But.
All right, so you guys have a history of peaking at the right time, obviously.
Yes.
So the tapering obviously works, but
Yeah.
what do you think do you think that the fact that you've been back 2 times, this is your 3rd chance at it, what do you think kind of pressure that puts on you guys?
It definitely puts a little pressure on us, especially when we get to regionals. It kind of gets a little tough because you only have a certain amount of bids, so it becomes really important about place. Nobody really worries about time in the postseason. It's kind of just duking it out. I try to do my part and get up as far as I can and try to take as many people as I can with me. So it really becomes a team sport in the postseason. And like I said, his philosophy is we peak in the postseason. We really strive to do well at regionals. We kind of train through conference a little bit, but regionals, we're at the top of our game, and then come nationals, our legs are feeling probably as good as they can feel. So it's really paid off the last 2 years. We've had a few people kind of not do as well as they wanted to at nationals, but at regionals as a team, we consistently are, where we need to be year in, year out. So.
What do you think your chances are this year? Good?
I would like to say that we have a good shot of winning the region this year. Edinburgh, I think, is the heavy favorite, but I definitely don't think we should be counted out. We have a lot of up-and-coming talent. We have a really good freshman coming up, Dylan Mountain, who has been second to me a couple times. We have a couple people who haven't raced yet, actually, so it's definitely going to be interesting, and it's going to be, nobody's going to hand it to us, and it's never like that at regionals, and then hopefully that can put us in position to win there and to carry that over into nationals. So.
Yeah. All right, well, I guess to wrap this up, we asked Vicki Davis, who just won the Brown race. I don't know if you saw it, but we asked her, what would your biggest piece of advice be for these incoming freshmen that will be watching you right now? Like, what would you tell them? Because you had a lot of success.
Yeah. I mean, I would just say don't take any opportunity for granted. Use everything as a learning experience. You're not always going to run well, or you're not always going to feel well. And I think my freshman year, I kind of just went with the flow because I was really, I was really excited about just being a part of a team, being a part of a team that was really good as far as, the PSAC and even on the national level. And it feels good to run fast with a bunch of other people. I didn't necessarily have that in high school, so I would just tell them to go into it with an open mind, listen to your coach, trust in your training, and eventually, it pays off the next few years. So.
All right, well, thanks so much for talking to us.